Hi, my name is Alicia Bake, and I am a professional voice actor. You can find examples of my work at aliciabakevoiceovers.com. So I get asked questions constantly about my job because it's a pretty interesting job and it's something people want to know more about. Sometimes it's because they want to get into the industry themselves, and sometimes it's because they just want to know more and they're just interested. So the number one question that I get asked is, how did you get into that? How did you get started in voiceover? Like, why? How did that come about? And the story for me is kind of interesting. I really love audiobooks. As a busy mom with 5 kids, I love to read and don't have a lot of time to read, so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And as I would listen, I would think, I could do that. Like, I love to read out loud. I was always that kid that raised my hand in school to read the passages of the book out loud. I did public speaking competitions from, I believe, 6th grade was when I did my first one, all the way up through high school. And debate, speech. I've always loved speaking in front of people. It's something that I really, really enjoy. I was also an actress and a singer. And any chance to be on a stage, even metaphorically in my studio, is something that I love. So many, many years ago, when my now 13-year-old daughter was just a baby, I investigated the idea of making audiobooks. And I found the Audiobook Creation Exchange, or ACX, which is run by Amazon. And I looked into it, but at that point in time, you had to go into a studio and you had to buy time in the studio. You had to purchase studio time and you had to record, and you didn't even know if the audiobook would sell. And a lot of most audiobooks that I was looking at were what's called royalty share. So you only get paid when the book sells, much like the author does. And so I put the idea aside. I just couldn't gamble and spend that money up front, never even knowing if I would get any return on that investment. So fast forward a few years later, I looked into it again. And at that point, home studios were beginning to be more common. You could purchase equipment, but it was still very, very expensive. There wasn't a lot of the lower level equipment that you can find now. And so I actually made a profile on ACX at that point and began, I think I auditioned for a couple of jobs and actually got one, but I ended up having to reach back out to the rights holder and let them know that it just wasn't the right time for me. I still had a baby. That was my fourth baby. And she was still very young. And I just really realized it wasn't a good time. So again, fast forward to when my now 5-year-old was 2, I said, I'm ready. Like, it's time. I really want to do this. And I had wanted to do it at that point for many years, but the timing wasn't right. So I auditioned for my first audiobook in my closet on my iPhone, which is a no-no for the record. But I got it. I got the first audiobook I auditioned for, and that was the Second Chance with Thais Darrett. She was the author, and she's amazing. And it's a great audiobook if you love anything about childbirth. But I realized really quickly through the course of that, it took me 9 months to make that audiobook, that I knew nothing. I knew nothing about audio. I didn't know what EQ was. I didn't know what compression was. I had no idea how to take. I just thought I could walk into my closet and record and just send my audio and someone else would do something with it, but it's not like that. Now, when you record audio, I would say probably 80% of the time, I am the actor, the producer, the editor, everything. Everything completely. I send finished audio that's ready to go most of the time to my clients. And I had no idea how to do any of that. So I spent quite a bit of time learning. It was a huge learning curve. And after that, I made 2 more audiobooks. They're terrible. That's a story for another day. But I learned really quickly that audiobooks were not for me, and that is for a variety of reasons. Number one, because when I wear these for any extended period of time, my ears begin to get pressure in them and they hurt really bad. So I can't wear the headphones for long periods of time. And number two, I don't have long stretches of time as a busy mother with 5 children, 4 of whom still live in the house. And so I was I'm still a busy mom, and I just knew that I could not dedicate the long periods of time that would be required to turn audiobooks over quickly enough to make it cost effective. So the third reason is that I don't do characters. That's not something. I'm a variety of versions of Alicia, but I I have learned quite a bit in the last 3 years, but I'm not a character actress yet. I'm working on that. I would love to be a character actress, but that's not who I am. And in order to do fiction, which is the most fun, you really have to be able to do a variety of voices. And my voice is already pretty low pitched, so dropping it for a masculine voice just feels really uncomfortable. So I would have to like raise my voice for feminine voices. And I've learned there's other nuances to it, but some people are really great at that. I'm not there yet. I need to learn if I wanted to do it. But right now I don't. What I do instead is I create the voiceovers, and a voiceover is anything that is audio layered over anything else. So you can hear my voice on phone systems. You can hear my voice on explainer videos. I've done a bazillion explainer videos for companies. So if you go to like Equilar.com and you want to learn about their such and such software, you might hear my voice. Or I've done explainer videos for Microsoft, and Samsung, and those are a lot of fun. So you can also hear my voice on commercials. It's on the radio. There's a few TV spots. And so it's just a little bit of everything. Social media, when you see little clips and there's a voice behind it, that's a voiceover. So that's what I do now. And the bulk of my work is in explainer videos or commercial work. But I enjoy all of it. I would even enjoy doing more audiobooks if there comes a time in the future where I have larger blocks of time and my children are grown. Maybe that will be something that I'll do. But there you have it in a very long story. That is how I got into voiceover.